Every year, more than 1,600 tons of trash are illegally dumped and cleaned up in Bernalillo County. Hazardous chemicals, construction debris, tires, furniture, and appliances, along with household trash. It's putting a strain on the environment and posing a serious health risk to local residents who aren't even aware it's being done in their area. Under a cloak of secrecy, these trash bandits are going to great lengths to dump their trash on both public and private property to save a buck. Some are paid to remove trash from construction sites, but instead of spending part of their take on fees to dump it legally, they're dumping it on your property and pocketing the profits. What does this mean to you? The air you breathe, the water you drink, the very essentials of human existence are being threatened. Illegal dumping, it's a crime and we need to put a stop to it. From a distance, Bernalillo County looks beautiful. From the Sandia Mountains to the Rio Grande to the Desert Valley. But take a closer look and what you find might disturb you. Illegally dumped trash. Everything from household waste to furniture and appliances. You name it, it's out there on public and private property, in arroyos, anywhere trash bandits can get away with it.
If we stayed out here long enough, we'd see somebody come over that rise with a truckload of stuff.
One of the open areas with a chronic problem is Pajarito Mesa.
A lot of this stuff could have been either donated to charity. I've noticed a lot of clothing and furniture out here that charitable organizations would accept.
Illegal dumpers have even gone to such lengths to impersonate government officials in the name of protecting our national security.
When I, confronted this person, he said he was from the fire department and they were conducting some type of program or a training for dogs. It's called a Disaster Dog Olympic site, where he stated that they were going to be dumping all this debris and hide, hit bombs, weapons, drugs, for the dogs to train the dogs.
Sandra Montes calls Pajarito Mesa home. She didn't buy the story for 1 minute, even with fabricated faxes and letters. The dump site was eventually cleaned up and neighbors could count on one small victory in a vast area of open space. This is an area the Office of Environmental Health knows all too well.
Here we've got a wonderful little chair so when we get tired we can have a seat. And of course, there's big pieces of glass in here that would do a number on a child, of course. And I almost hesitate to push down, not knowing exactly what's going to come out of here, if there's nails or something that I could prick myself on.
What you see here is a combination of practically anything you would find in a typical household, from appliances to household trash to old clothing, to construction debris, the old paneling that they ripped out when they remodeled the house, a bed, a piece of furniture, you name it, it's here.
And here, hundreds of families live without some of the basic necessities, like running water and electricity. But Montes says that's no reason to dump it in her backyard.
We don't like the way we're living right now because, there are no services, but that doesn't mean that we like to live like pigs either. And we don't appreciate people coming from outside and dumping more trash on us.
The trash not only contaminates groundwater, it creates a breeding ground for disease.
This looks like a remodeling project to me. There's a bunch of wallboard and roofing shingles, and maybe they were doing a backyard cleanup and trimming a tree, pulling out some old wallboard at the same time, and we don't know what's under there. And maybe if there was household trash, kitchen garbage under there, maybe there's rats in there. Rats carry fleas, and fleas bring plague.
For instance, here we've got an antifreeze bucket here, and who knows if this was full or empty, or, well, I'm assuming it wasn't full of antifreeze or the person would have used it, but who knows what it was full of, and, maybe it's got a leaky top, and they've decided to put another chemical in there to dump out here, and with bottles, and I mean, you can look you've got bottles and containers everywhere, and sooner or later that is going to get into the ground and affect groundwater quality. So in a sense, you could dump something and say, you know, sooner or later somebody's going to drink it, which is kind of a scary thought.
And a thought not far from Montes' mind.
We're over 400 families out here. 60% of the population, they're kids under the age of 18. So there is a lot of kids, you know. We're trying to make a community where, you know, with a quality of living that we all deserve.
My biggest concern is children. I know as a young boy, I would have been out here looking for stuff and running around and playing, and I'm sure other kids do that as well.
With a multi-million-dollar budget to provide Bernalillo County citizens with pickup and drop-off services, Solid Waste Director Kim McKibben doesn't understand why people don't just pick up the phone and find out how to use them.
One of my biggest gripes is that people will spend their personal energy and their fuel to load up large items such as appliances and couches and drive them someplace to illegally dump them, when that is a free service to all of our customers. You just call Waste Management, and every month they will pick up a large item for free on your trash collection day.
That's because the cost of cleaning up illegally dumped trash is where it really hurts all of us.
It costs $18 to $23 a ton to dispose of your trash legally. If we have to go out and clean up an illegal dump site, it's about $350 a ton. That's about $500,000 at the rate that illegal dumping is occurring now.
And it's the high cost of cleaning it up that has absentee landowners looking the other way.
When they realize the cost involved, because we're talking, you know, I mean, if you just look up here, you know, we're talking $10,000 or $20,000 to clean this up, easy. And when they notice that, it just doesn't make sense in terms of their property investment to spend $10,000 or $20,000 to clean it up.
The lack of enforcement capabilities, complicated by an overloaded justice system, has Office of Environmental Health Education Coordinator Matt Cross-Guillen focusing on awareness in the community.
Knowing that it's a concern of community members, we're trying to do what we can to get, say, community empowerment so that people feel like they have their own voice, or they have some power to change the situation.
Wherever there's a vacant lot, you're going to see a dump site. One of the worst ones is in our Northeast Heights in the county, is where the Tijeras Arroyo comes through behind there by Sandia Base. If you go there, people have been dumping there for at least 50 years. You'll find old refrigerators. We've helped fence that off. We've gone cleanups and done those kind of things, and still people break the fence down to dump.
Currently, there is a huge group effort in Bernalillo County to identify problem areas and come up with solutions. The Solid Waste Department, the Office of Environmental Health, Maintenance, Planning and Zoning, and Animal Control has developed a code enforcement team that tries to tackle the problem on a bi-monthly basis.
We have pulled our resources together because the different departments that are affected by illegal dumping were just picking at the problem. We have formed a code enforcement team to investigate these complaints, and it has proved to be very effective. We can go out and figure out what has been illegally dumped and how to clean it up.
On this day, it happens to be a home that's been under investigation before and was cleaned up. Once again, the group descends on the property to find out why things have gotten out of control.
I see an unsafe building, which is a big issue. Lots of trash, as Pam said, tires, inoperative vehicles.
On a good day, team members fan out to make local residents aware of a mini cleanup going on in their area.
Hi, I'm Charles Ramirez with Bernalillo County Zoning Department. We're having an East Mountain mini cleanup for the residents here and in the East Mountains, and this is the flyer.
Team members drive door to door in this case, in the East Mountains, making sure locals have enough time to prepare for the big day. Sometimes coming across evidence that in some cases might end up in an arroyo rather than the dump it's intended for.
Okay, why don't you go to, I can list that where that truck's just getting ready to leave. Okay, park right next to that. Those kids are working on 1140.
All right, that's the best way.
Okay.
Great.
All right, thank you.
Thanks a bunch.
One of 22 annual countywide cleanups, these mini cleanups allow residents to bring in a number of larger items at one time. A sort of spring clean, you might say, only this time it's in the fall. Mike Salas knows these cleanups have a personal touch.
With our small code enforcement events, we're able to get a little bit more personal with the people in Bernalillo County and actually target the people who need our help.
Charles Ramirez knows the group's hard work has paid off.
They're loaded. As you can see, they're just loaded and they're happy, and so this is a good thing. They're smiling. So they're smiling, I'm smiling. We're seeing a lot of hazardous waste. We're seeing appliances, a lot of wood, you name it, you got it.
And residents like Mike and Jesse Oliver made sure all their neighbors knew.
This helped us out quite a bit. We had quite a bit of junk and we don't want to pay for the transfer station fee, so this really got us spurred on to get it all cleaned out.
We're not only saving on the cost, but we're saving on fuel. I mean, it's another 5 miles, 5 miles one way round trip but down to the transfer station. And with the price of fuel nowadays, this is a whole lot more convenient.
Any day of the week, it's actually very easy to dump your trash legally.
We have a customer just pulled up to the gatehouse. Our attendant will come out and measure your load. He will then get the measurements and assess what fee he's going to charge you. The customer has household trash and he also has some lumber. Our household trash will go into our walking floor conveyor system, and then our customer will then pull his pallet around to our green waste pile out back. Our attendant just told the customer what lane to back into. And then Mr. Martinez will back the customer into the stall and assist on offloading his vehicle.
This Arizona transplant saw the problem in the desert and knows New Mexico is not the only place with these problems, but appreciates Bernalillo County's efforts.
It's good that they provide places to put your stuff. It really is, because people are going to get rid of the stuff anyway. At least this gives us a good place to do it and keeps the area clean, keeps this place looking nice.
You can drop off your trash at one of 4 solid waste centers: Eagle Rock, Montes Park, East Mountain, and Dom Reservoir. You can drop off recycling for free, and speaking of free, the county recycles all green waste and puts it in a chipper.
The customers can come through our station and get the chips free of charge.
But they don't take construction debris. That needs to be taken to the Southwest landfill. For hazardous waste, you can take it to RINCHEM on Edith Boulevard Northeast. The county pays $100,000 a year just to handle it for you. With all these great programs in place, some are still stunned that so much illegal dumping still occurs.
I wonder if some people just think it's fun to put the old couch in the back of the truck and bring it out here and dump it, instead of just leaving it kind of rather boringly on the curb in front of their house on trash collection day.
We have roadside residential collection weekly. We have convenience centers. We have large item pickup, and we have neighborhood cleanups. So why is illegal dumping still occurring when it's so much easier and cheaper to use the services already in place?
Especially nowadays with gas prices, I mean, I would think you could do the math of paying $4 to go, within a mile of your house, or maybe, a mile or two, then coming way out to the other side of town and dumping. It's a lot easier to go to a place and you know that you're not negatively impacting others, because professionals are going to deal with that material in the appropriate manner so that everyone is kept safe.
It doesn't just hurt us. In the long run, like we have gotten, dump here barrels of used oil, and they've been just, tipped over. So all that gets into our water. So, in the long run, it's not just going to affect us, but then also it's going to affect the whole, the whole South Valley.
People, come on, we got to take care of our stuff here. We can't do this to ourselves. And we appeal to you and we ask you to please take care of this.